For those of you on Balik Eskwela mode, listen up. The Education Department extends the deadline for application for its senior high school vouchers. Tobacco tax hike is one step closer to becoming a law after getting the Senate's nod. Still at the Senate, tension heats up between the two richest senators. The Tulfo brothers apologize following the recall of their security details. And in Sports Rush, Golden State Warriors ties the NBA Final Series with Toronto. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of June 4, Tuesday. I'm Riza Diaz. Jumpstarting today's rush with the Education Department extending its voucher program until Friday. That allows more senior high school students to enroll in private schools. Marian Enriquez has the details.
Incoming senior high school student Rex Castillo arrived early at the Balik Eskwela Command Center at the Department of Education in Pasig to fix his Learning Reference Number or LRN. Castillo says he needs this to get his senior high school voucher worth 22,500 pesos per year.
Kasi po, mahihirapan po yung brothers ko. Mahihirapan po yung magulang ko maghanap ng ganong kalaking pera. 22,500, hindi naman po biro kitain yun.
Under the program, grade 10 completers from public schools who will pursue their senior high school education in private schools, state and local universities and colleges are qualified for the voucher program.
Itong senior high school voucher program ay ito ang tuition fee subsidy or support ng Department of Education dun sa mga mag-aaral ng senior high school that are attending private schools.
The initial deadline for the online voucher program application was June 2, but DepEd extended it to June 7. 81,000 applicants have applied thus far, but DepEd can only accommodate 56,000.
Based on the factors na sinubmit ay irarank sila according to their adjusted income levels using various factors and other considerations.
A total of 1.3 million students are expected to benefit from the senior high school voucher program. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Meanwhile, the start of the classes was marked with the familiar scene of first day woes, with nervous students, cramped classrooms, and even makeshift offices. But authorities say the opening of classes still went according to plan. Greg Gregorio will tell us more.
With 8,200 enrollees, the President Corazon Aquino Elementary School is one of the biggest in Quezon City. In an all-too-common scene, a grade 4 transferee can be seen having a difficult time. He didn't want his mother to leave.
Galing kasi kami Marikina, then nag-transfer kami dito sa Batasan.
To prevent similar situations, teachers here wore tiaras and other colorful headpieces to make students with separation anxiety feel more welcome.
Once they cry, we give them biscuits para ma-up yung kanyang mood. Tapos after nun, siguro 1 week, some parents, they can sit with, pero only for 1 week. Para lang ma-feel ng bata na ready na po siya for learning.
Malaking bagay po. Malaking bagay para mawala yung fear nila sa pagpasok, lalo na sa mga grade 1.
At the Batasan Hills National High School, the number of enrollees has already reached 15,370. Late enrollees are expected to raise the number even higher.
Pero kung talagang na-reach namin yung peak na talaga, i-address namin sa division people.
Meanwhile, some students at the Tondo National High School were initially barred from entering without proper uniform, but were eventually allowed to come to class.
Ang uniforme sa DepEd po ay hindi po yan malapit. Siyempre, tinuturuan po natin sila ng wastong kondukta, wastong kaasalan, kaya hinikayat po namin silang mag-uniforme.
DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones monitored some of the big schools in Taguig and Makati. She said she was satisfied with what she has seen, but called out teachers from the Bacoor National High School for using a comfort room as an office.
They had a choice. They could hold office in the laboratory rooms. But of course, it is more dramatic. It's more touching if you hold it in the toilets.
Overall, the opening of classes went smoothly according to authorities. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
So what's the weather going to be like for the second day of classes? If you're in Mindanao, don't forget your umbrella. Socsargen, ARMM, and Zamboanga Peninsula will experience thunderstorms. That's still because of the intertropical convergence zone or the merging of winds from the northern and southern hemispheres. Now, the ITCZ will also affect parts of Western Visayas and Palawan, while other parts of the country will only experience localized thunderstorms, which wouldn't last long. Here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. President Duterte is pressing Congress to pass the bill seeking to make ROTC mandatory for senior high school students. But despite certifying the measure urgent, the Senate says they simply have no time to thoroughly study the bill. The 17th Congress formally adjourns this Friday, and all legislations that won't make the cut then will have to be refiled in the 18th Congress, which will open on July 22nd.
Mr. President, these measures will take a lot of hours of debate. I know for a fact we have a different system in the Senate. We wish that they were able to come out with the priority measure or priority certification much earlier to let us be able to plan and study and debate the measure in plenary.
Still at the Senate, the re-elected Senator Cynthia Villar clarifies she has no intention of being Senate President. That's on the back of her refusal to sign the resolution supporting the continued leadership of Senator Tito Soto. Villar confronted Senator Manny Pacquiao, who rounded up the signatures for the resolution. She also explained why she didn't want to sign the resolution in the first place.
Ako pipirma dyan. Kung ipahamak yung aking kapartido, ako nakapirma dyan. Hihintayin ko na maayos si Pia at si Ivy. Hindi na tama yun. Ba't napipirma dyan na hindi naayos ang kapartido?
Here are the biggest stories from the dailies. More stories from the Senate. The upper house has approved the proposed tax hike on tobacco products. If passed into law, this would spell a 60 peso increase on tobacco taxes by 2023. Senate President Tito Soto told Business World that a bicameral conference won't be necessary, as they are urging the lower house to adopt the Senate version of the bill. Pangmasa reports that Peter Jomel Advincula, the man claiming to be Bicoy, is now back in PNP custody. That's after he submitted his cell phone and computer hardware as evidence, which would allegedly link Senator Antonio Trillanes and the Liberal Party to the production of the Totoong Narco List videos. Now, the CIDG said that Advincula voluntarily returned to the authorities with his lawyer last week and has requested protective custody. However, PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde says they are still validating Advincula's claims and they cannot guarantee his immunity from any possible lawsuit. And this from the Philippine Star, the Golden State Warriors bounced back in Game 2 to equalize their NBA Final Series against the Toronto Raptors. This is despite a missing Kevin Durant, who is still nursing a calf injury. The defending champions still claimed a victory with a double-digit scoring of Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Authorities have confirmed that Erwin Tulfo's tirades against a cabinet official prompted their decision to withdraw his security aid. Ryan Ang tells us more.
The Philippine National Police admitted that one of the factors in the recall of Erwin Tulfo and his siblings' security details was the way he disrespected DSWD Secretary Rolando Bautista, a former commanding general of the Philippine Army.
Sino ba maniniwala sa amin kung sasabihin natin na walang kinalaman yun? No? It has something to do with these comments to, of course, to the Secretary of DSWD, but that is not the main reason.
The PNP says some of the security detail from the Police Security and Protection Group were actually scheduled to undergo periodic review. The PSPG chief also explained that the Tulfo siblings were provided security details because they passed their threat assessment requirement. They also acquired an exemption from the COMELEC.
The outcome of the review will be the basis of whether we will continue or not. So hindi lang po naman siya yung may ganong case. Meron pong mga ibang individuals that we recalled for periodic review of security availment.
Albayalde added that having a security detail is like securing a license for a gun. It is a privilege and not a right and can be revoked anytime.
Paano kung bibigyan mo ng security ng isang tao at wala naman siyang gagawin kundi magsisigaw dyan, magbully and anybody? Not only members of the PNP or members of the AP or secretary for that matter, no? Magganon siya and yet he is being protected by police personnel. What would the people say?
Erwin has apologized and asked for forgiveness from the former general, his family, friends, and supporters. He also said that he is willing to face any punishment but wished that his family members be spared from the issue.
Wala pong karapatan sino man ang bastusin ng isang tao, lalo pat ang taong ito ay nagsilbi pala sa pamahalaan at nakipaglaban po sa mga kalaban ng pamahalaan.
Erwin has had a security detail since the time of former President Erap Estrada because of death threats he has allegedly been receiving. And according to him, based on a PNP evaluation 3 months ago, there are still threats to his life, but he did not argue anymore.
Siguro, tingin ho nila yung threat mababa na despite the fact na may mga kita naman ho sa social media yung mga pagbabanta ho sa buhay natin. Pero we just have to suck it up siguro, ma'am, and move on and siguro brace ourselves and pray to God.
Meanwhile, Erwin's brother Rafi questioned the decision of the authorities to include him in the sanction for what his brother did, but he apologized to the family of Chairman Bautista for what happened.
It hurts. Hindi ko naman kasalanan kung apelyido ko ay Tulfo. Nakapagkasalanan ng isang kapatid namin, dinadamay lahat. Bakit ganun? Kung may kasalanan ng isa sa kapatid namin, sana yung walang kasalanan, wag idadamay. Sana po, let's grow up. You guys grow up. Wala akong mabanggitin tao. Come on. Be matured.
For News 5, Ryan Ang, We Are One News.
Rafi Tulfo isn't the only one apologizing on behalf of his brother. Special Envoy to China Mon Tulfo has also come forward to admit fault and say sorry. In an interview with 1PH Sa Totoo Lang, Mon apologized not only to Bautista but to the other people who may been offended by his brother's hard-hitting remarks.
Mali yung ginawa ni Erwin at nag-usap kami nung kagabi. At sinabi ko, Erwin, maling-mali ka sa ginawa mo. Kailangang humingi ka ng kapatawaran unequivocally. Ibig sabihin, walang dahilan. Wala yung mga ganito kasi nangyari, ganitong...
walang depensa.
Wala yung sinasabing, ay kasi kaya ko ginawa ito. Hindi. Diretso, nagkamali ka, at hindi mo dapat ginawa yon. Hindi lang po sa kalihim, sa lahat po ng tao.
Opo.
Na nasaktan. Hindi lang po. Ako po siguro ay humihingi rin ng patawad in behalf of my brother kasi po ako po ay patriarch. Ako po ay nakakatandang kapatid nila. Nung bago po napigtas yung buhay ng aking ama, ay inihabilin po yan sa akin, itong mga kapatid ko.
Malacanang meanwhile expressed support for the DSWD Secretary and urged the public to move on from the issue since apologies have already been made.
Definitely, General Bautista, as his supporters describe him, is a man of probity and of good repute. Well, Mr. Tulfo has his reasons for doing what he did. He apologized for it, and I think we should accept the apology. He was gentleman enough to apologize.
Here are the stories to watch out for later today. We have a big-time oil price rollback happening this morning. Gasoline prices are going down by as much as 1 peso and 70 centavos per liter. The Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on the Automated Election System will look into the final report of the local source code reviewers. Initial discussions on the 2019 midterm polls will also be conducted. And the upper house will bid farewell to its graduating senators. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.